Okay, hello. Here I am for all to see in my bedhead and everything. So here's what happened. I have a really good reason for not posting a vlog last Friday, even though I had just proclaimed that I was going to be posting a vlog every Friday. But what I realized was that it kind of came a little bit more down to what God was telling me and not about making sure I had something on my website every Friday. So first of all, I was just about to go and take a shower and make myself a little bit more presentable to everybody watching this video. Hi, Mom, and maybe the one or two other people who do watch it. And I actually felt really convicted in my heart to not do that, because this is who I am, and really when it comes down to it, it's not about me at all, or it shouldn't be, and that's something that I've been really just kind of on my face before the Lord, asking Him to just kind of rid me of myself, and not in a self-deprecating way at all, but He's just, He's so good, and He's so big, and He's been talking about so much, and I realized that there's so much more to everything that He's telling my heart and my mind to speak about and to write about, and it has nothing to do with me, or my hair, or my makeup, or lack thereof, or whatever. And so this is me. This is what you're gonna get today. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to get yourself all together or whatever, but this is what you're getting today. So I felt like today was the day I needed to post this vlog about some thoughts that have been going on in my head. Even though it's not Friday, like when God speaks, He's going to speak. And so He told me to do it, so I'm going to obey. So really, the reason why I had a whole blog, or a vlog, video blog, if you're wondering what I'm saying, planned out and ready to go for last Friday, and I realized that actually what was more important is that what I was going to be talking about, it actually needed to be talked about first between me and one of my roommates. I have a tendency to hide behind things that I can write or post on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, or make video blogs about, and because it's a lot easier to speak my mind and to have an opinion on what everyone else should be doing or what we as Christians should be doing, in the safety of my own home, on my computer, or on my phone. And what's a lot harder for me, I will speak for myself, but I have a sneaky suspicion that I'm not alone, is to actually have the tough conversations with people in our lives. And so I realized I am supposed to have this conversation in person first before I make a video about it. Yes, Brooke, that was a good choice, because that's what we should be doing, right? So basically what happened is last week I was very sick. I had a really bad cold. I was on the couch, about to watch a movie with one of my roommates, Eldrick, and I was literally like in this weird fog of like cold medicine and like not really wanting to talk to anyone, or even like capable of talking to anyone. You guys have all been there if you've had a really bad cold. And so then we were also putting on the movie Django. And so Quentin Tarantino, kind of funny, but like always intense movies, right? So I'm laying there and we're like 10 minutes into the movie and it's already getting pretty intense. And I'm just like in total pass out mode, like movies upon movies for days. That's all I wanted to do, and sleep. So 10 minutes into the movie, he turns to me and he's like, "So you're a Christian, right?" I was like, "Yes." And he's like, next question he asked me, follow-up question, first one on the board, says, "What do you think about the whole gay marriage issue?" And so I respond, not well. And I say, like, what? I was so confused. I was just like, oh, no, I don't want to talk about this. This is not, I mean, I really wasn't in a space to do so, but I just really didn't want to either. So I was like, I'm not going to talk about this right now. And he was like, way to cop out. And I was like, I'm not copping out. And then I passed out on the couch, I think, or something like that. And then even later that night, I was like, I just want you to know I wasn't copping out about that question. I just, like, it is an important topic to me. And this is not what this video is about. So I'm not going to talk about that. Otherwise, I will go on a rant. But what it is about is what happened next. So I felt really excuse me, convicted, but also kind of confused, like why I was so upset about the whole thing. And it wasn't just about my response, but it was about his question. And really what it came down to was it made me sad that the first question that was asked of me upon finding out that I was a Christian was on a hot topic issue, was on gay marriage. Because for me, in my opinion and in my study and of theology and the Word, and I do not know hardly anything about this. I mean, it is such a deep topic, but really what it comes down to for me is that it's not the topic that we should be focusing on. Like, what would it take for, as Christians, to create a culture where the first question that we're asked upon finding out that we are a Christian is not about a hot topic issue, but rather that it would be about, oh, like, you're a Christian? Wait, you believe in that God of hope, right? Or you believe in that God who died for you? Is that what you believe? Or you believe in that God of justice or of mercy? I mean, there are so many more things that, and deeper. I mean, these are the hot topics, you guys. These are like the truth, the grit, the roots of our faith, of a God who from the very beginning of the time of the world's existence was pursuing us out of love and out of passion and out of grace and out of mercy. And we don't talk about that enough. And so on the one hand, I was like, man, it's sad to me that's the only question. These are all things now that I've talked to Eldrick about, which is why I couldn't make my video before. And I was very nervous. And I was like, okay, here's what I really feel. But I knew it had to happen because I knew that this is where that real life happens. Like, this is where, real discipleship happens, and where God can work through us and our mouths and people and our story and us professing what we do know to be true. And that was the other half. So on the one side, I was like sad that was the first question that came up. I understood it, but it still made me sad. But then on the flip side of that, or really related to it, but on my end of it, I was on a walk then, like a couple days later or something, and I realized God just spoke so clearly to my heart. He was like, you stopped short. And I was like, wait, what? I said, but God, I don't want to debate those things. I don't want to, and I don't like to get into those because, one, it is hard. We don't know everything. Like, a lot of people who are the loudest voices on that topic are really just shouting things that are opposite of God's heart, and it's just, like the whole thing there's so many things I could say about it right now. But the point of this was that God said to my heart, you stopped short. And so I started figuring out, or trying to figure out what that meant, what he meant by that, and going into the Word and reading about his disciples and his prophets and Abraham and Moses and some of the big pillars of our faith, of people who are not perfect at all, but people whose stories are told to show us how to interact with this God and how to interact with our culture. And I realized that every single time they would not follow through with something that God had told them to do, that really hard things happen, not only to them, but to the people they were called to teach and reach out to. And so basically, God was like, it's not about you knowing what to say about this hot topic. It's about what you didn't say about what you do know, if that makes any sense. So basically what I mean by that is he said, you should have said, I don't know. Okay, that's fine. And I did say that. I was like, listen, when it comes down to it, I don't know. But he's like, what you could have continued on and followed through with is saying, but here's what I do know. I know that I serve a God of love. And I know that I do serve a God of justice. And he is a powerful God. But his love is under that same power. I mean, his love goes through everything. That I do know that we all fall short of the glory of God. And I do know that we are all in need of a Savior. And I do know that he died to give us that Savior, that he would pursue us and will pursue us till the end of days. And that is what I do know. And that's what I had to go back and tell Eldrick. And I just wonder if we worked more, if I worked harder at being aware of that and not allowing fear or intimidation or whatever to stop me from following through on what I do know, how the language about Christians could change, how our neighbors could get to know a God that loves them just by us saying, here's what I do know. I don't know. And honestly, I really don't care to debate if there's really no purpose of debating in hot topic issues. But here's what I do know. And this is the God I want to show you. This is the God that he speaks more in his word about love and hope and power and saving grace than he does about anything else. And I'm talking Old Testament and New Testament. And I want to be the kind of person who follows through and says, here's what I do know. Even when I'm sick on the couch, I can still say I do know that God loves us. And I do know that that's unconditional. And I do know that he's pursuing your heart as much as he's pursuing mine, and that no one's good enough or less or more deserving of that love, and yet he offers it freely to us all. So would you join me in not making it about ourselves and not making it about proving points or, having the most hits on a blog post about our debates of the hot topics of the day, because those are going to change. In 50 years, the hot topics are going to be different. But what's not going to change is the message of truth that we all have the capability of bringing to those around us. So yeah, that's been the stuff that's been stirring in my heart that I've been convicted on. And it's not about me at all. I'm trying to figure this out along with you guys. I need my sisters. I need my brothers. And if we all banded together to actually make this truth more known and more vocalized without fear and without judgment of others, I wonder what could change. It makes me think. So that's all I've got today. Thanks for listening.